Ladies and gentlemen, I want you to hear me today, not just with your ears but with your spirit. Because what I am about to say can transform the way you live, the way you think, and the way you produce results in your life. Life was never designed to reward the distracted. It rewards the focused. You can have vision, you can have dreams, you can have gifts, but until you learn to discipline your focus, those things will remain potential instead of reality. Focus is the womb of execution. Whatever you magnify with your attention is what you multiply in your results. Focus determines direction, distraction destroys destiny. When you understand the power of focus, you realize that it is not simply about paying attention, it is about aligning your entire being with a single pursuit. Focus narrows your energy, your creativity, your time, and your resources toward one specific target. A river that flows wide and shallow may look impressive, but it has no power to cut through rock. Yet, when water is focused, concentrated into a single stream, it gains enough force to carve valleys and move mountains. In the same way, your life has incredible potential, but that potential is wasted when it is scattered among too many pursuits. Focus gives clarity, and clarity produces progress. Distraction is the silent thief of destiny. It does not always come as something evil, it often comes disguised as something good, something attractive, something urgent but not important. It can come in the form of unnecessary conversations, endless entertainment, comparison to others, or even opportunities that look right but are not aligned with your true purpose. When you are distracted, you lose momentum. Your energy is drained by what doesn't matter, and you are left with little strength to pursue what does. The tragedy is not that people fail, but that they succeed at the wrong things because they allowed distraction to dictate their direction. Direction is more important than speed. It doesn't matter how fast you are running if you are headed in the wrong direction. Focus determines direction because it fixes your eyes on the path you were designed to walk. Life is filled with paths, but not all are meant for you. When you focus, you silence the noise of competing voices and choose the one that aligns with your assignment. This is why focus is not about doing more, but about doing what matters most. One clear yes requires 1,000 no's. Focus trains you to say no without guilt, because you understand that every no protects your destiny from distraction. The most successful people are not always the most talented, but they are the most focused. They choose their lane and refuse to leave it until they reach their destination. Focus gives birth to mastery. When you do one thing with diligence, consistency, and intentionality, you rise above average. Many people dabble in many things, but few master one. And it is the master who shapes history, not the dabbler. Distraction will always compete for your attention, but focus requires that you guard your heart and mind like a fortress. You must be intentional about what you allow to enter your space. Every distraction tolerated is progress delayed. Every moment wasted is destiny postponed. That is why focus is not optional, it is essential. Your direction in life is not determined by chance, it is determined by where you choose to set your attention. Execution is the bridge between vision and manifestation. Vision without execution is like a seed left in a packet. It carries potential, but it never produces fruit. A vision can inspire, it can stir your heart, and it can even motivate others, but until it is acted upon, it remains a dream unfulfilled. Execution is where the invisible becomes visible, where the unseen becomes seen, and where intention is translated into impact. Many people live with powerful ideas in their hearts, yet the world never experiences them because they never crossed the bridge of execution. Execution requires courage. It demands that you take the first step even when the path is not completely clear. You may not have all the resources, you may not know the entire plan, but execution means moving forward with what you have, trusting that as you walk, the road will unfold. Vision may excite you, but execution will test you. It will test your patience, your faith, your resilience, and your determination. This is why so many give up after they begin. They thought execution was just about working hard, but it is about persevering against resistance. The bridge of execution is not crossed in a single leap, it is crossed step by step. Each step you take may seem small, but collectively they move you closer to manifestation. Too often people wait for the perfect conditions before they act, but perfection never comes. The perfect time to begin is when the vision is clear enough to ignite you. Execution honors vision by refusing to let it remain an idea. A written plan on paper is not execution. A speech about your dream is not execution. Execution is the action you take daily, consistently, to bring the unseen into reality. Manifestation is the reward of disciplined execution. It is the proof that your vision had life. But manifestation is never instant. A farmer does not plant today and harvest tomorrow. There is a process of watering, protecting, and nurturing the seed until it becomes a harvest. Execution is that process. It is waking up early, staying up late, making sacrifices, and refusing excuses. It is doing what must be done, even when you do not feel like doing it. It is continuing when progress seems slow, because you understand that every act of execution is laying bricks on the bridge that connects you to your destiny. Vision gives you a picture of what could be, but execution builds what will be. Without execution, the picture fades. Without execution, passion dies. Without execution, opportunities are wasted. The world does not reward you for what you imagine, it rewards you for what you produce. And production is always the result of execution. When you choose to execute, you prove that your vision is not just an illusion but a conviction. Execution is the bridge that takes you from where you are to where you are meant to be. Discipline sustains what passion begins. Passion is powerful. It is the spark that ignites vision, the energy that stirs you into movement, the fire that makes you believe that what you see in your heart is possible. But passion alone is never enough. Passion excites, but discipline preserves. Passion can get you started, but only discipline will keep you going. Many people begin with excitement, they start with enthusiasm, they are fueled by the thrill of something new, but when the emotions fade, so does their commitment. This is why discipline is more valuable than passion, because it ensures consistency even when feelings fluctuate. Discipline is the ability to say yes to purpose and no to distraction, day after day. It is the structure that keeps you aligned when emotions shift. Passion is emotional, discipline is intentional. Passion depends on inspiration, discipline depends on decision. Passion wakes you up with energy, but discipline keeps you awake when you feel tired. Passion opens the door, discipline walks you through it and makes sure you stay inside. Discipline is the muscle of success, and like any muscle, it is built through repetition and resistance. Discipline requires sacrifice. To sustain the vision, you must be willing to give up comfort, convenience, and sometimes even the applause of others. Passion makes you dream, but discipline makes you plan. Passion desires results, but discipline creates habits. Habits become routines, and routines shape outcomes. It is not what you do occasionally with passion that defines your destiny, but what you do consistently with discipline. When passion fades, habits remain. When feelings shift, routines endure. Discipline keeps you anchored to your purpose when storms of doubt and delay come against you. The greatest achievers are not those who were always passionate, but those who were always disciplined. They built structures into their lives that carried them beyond moods and motivation. They created systems that ensured progress regardless of how they felt. They practiced consistency until it became natural, and they trained their minds and bodies to obey their purpose rather than their impulses. Discipline is not glamorous, but it is effective. It is not always exciting, but it is always rewarding. Discipline is also about focus. It is the ability to direct your energy toward what truly matters and ignore what doesn't. It is the ability to repeat the same small actions every day with excellence, knowing that over time they accumulate into greatness. The world often celebrates passion because it is visible and inspiring, but it is discipline that builds the unseen foundation beneath every lasting success. Discipline turns potential into performance, and dreams into reality. Passion may inspire you to start the race, but discipline is what ensures you cross the finish line. Consistency turns small actions into great achievements. Greatness is not built in a day, it is built day by day. The world often admires the final product but overlooks the process, yet it is the process of consistent effort that produces results. Consistency is the rhythm of success, the habit of showing up even when it seems nothing is changing. Small actions, repeated faithfully over time, accumulate into something powerful. A drop of water falling on stone may seem insignificant, but given enough time, it carves through rock. Likewise, consistent effort, no matter how small, has the power to break barriers and create lasting impact. Consistency does not demand perfection, it demands persistence. You do not have to do everything perfectly to achieve success, but you must keep doing it faithfully. Many people fail, not because they lack ability, but because they lack consistency. They start with energy but stop when results are slow. They commit for a week, then give up after a month. Consistency requires patience, because growth is often invisible in the beginning. Just as a seed takes time to push through the soil before it becomes visible, your efforts may take time before they produce fruit. But if you stay consistent, results will eventually follow. Small actions create momentum. When you commit to doing something daily, it becomes part of your identity. You no longer rely on motivation, you rely on habit. Consistency transforms actions into lifestyle, and lifestyle into destiny. Every great achievement is nothing more than the accumulation of small actions done consistently over time. A writer who writes a page a day produces a book in a year. A student who studies for an hour daily masters subjects that seemed impossible. An athlete who trains daily builds strength that talent alone cannot produce. The principle is simple: little by little becomes much when consistency is applied. Consistency also builds trust, both with yourself and with others. When you are consistent, you prove to yourself that you can be relied upon. This strengthens your confidence and disciplines your mind to believe in your ability to finish what you start. When others see your consistency, they recognize your reliability. Opportunities often come to those who are consistent, because consistency communicates commitment. Talent may open the door, but consistency keeps you in the room. There will always be obstacles to consistency: fatigue, distraction, discouragement, and even failure. But consistency is not about avoiding challenges, it is about persisting through them. It is about showing up again after setbacks, about recommitting when you fall short, and about choosing progress over perfection. Consistency turns discipline into results, and results into achievements. Every great success story is built on this foundation. The difference between those who dream and those who achieve is not usually brilliance or resources, but the ability to remain consistent with their small actions until those actions create extraordinary outcomes.